Let's rip some Pitch Black. I've got a regular ETB here and 2 booster bundles. It's Pokemon's brand new set. It's got a huge Darkrai chase in it. It is a small set. There's some really cool illustration rares, and anything I do pull will be going in my massive national Pokedex binder. This huge thing, I need over 1,000 cards to fill one of every kind of Pokemon, and I've got around just over 100, so I'm miles off. So I need some hits to start populating this and filling it up. Just look how bare this is. It's really sad. It needs more hits in it. So I'm going to open these, stack up the packs, and then we'll rip through all 21 and hopefully we can hit it big. There's the 12 packs from the bundles. Let's get this ETB ripped open. I do love opening an ETB of a new set and just flicking through the playbook. So it's a small set, as we know, as Chaos Rising has been, as Perfect Order has been, and they've stopped combining the Japanese sets and they've just started putting them one-to-one now with the English, which has resulted in a bit of a slowdown in the market because obviously then it's not as scalpable, the cards aren't as expensive because they're easier to pull from the smaller sets. But if I can't pull that Darkrai, I would love the Armarouge. I am a Gen 1 guy, I'm from that era back in 1999, Goldeen, Slowbro. I love Manectric. It's a staple in my playthroughs in Gen 3 on Pokemon Sapphire, so I'd love to pull that. The Delmise is really cool, or Delmise even, should I say. And then we're back onto this page, and the full arts don't really stand out to me. I'm not really a fan of the full arts, but then there it is, the big boy, the Mega Darkrai. This is a fantastic card. Now, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Darkrai fan. I think it's a cool Pokemon. I'm certainly not a fan of the Mega versions. I'm not really a fan of any of the Mega Pokemon, to be honest. But this particular card, though, visually looks amazing. So if I pulled that, I'd be absolutely over the moon. And obviously, if we can't pull that, the Misty, for obvious reasons, it's going to sell well. It'll do well when it's graded. But with it being a small set, these cards are going to be plentiful. They're going to be everywhere. And then if we can't, obviously we've got some SIR trainers, the Morpeko, and then the gold Mega Darkrai. I mean, I'd be happy with any of them, to be honest. Any SIR, I'll be over the moon. And if not, a Gen 1 illustration rare or Misty, who is also kind of a Gen 1 human, would be amazing. So let's get into these. The promo, I forgot about the promo. So we've got a Zarude. I'm going to be honest, it's a bit lackluster. But this one is the first one that's going into the National Pokedex binder. So we've got one hit at least to go in there. But as a promo goes, it's not my favourite, to be honest. It doesn't even look amazing. The card looks dark. So it's in the binder, but I'm not that excited. We've got the energies like normal, along with the sleeves, the damage counters and the dice. Nice black and fitting with the theme of the set. And then we've got the 9 packs. So 21 in total. Let's just start. Okay, first pack, let's go. So first pack is the Electrike, the Slowpoke, the Lampet, the Jet, and we get an EX in the first pack, the Lurantis. So one hit, one pack, hopefully a sign of things to come. So as mentioned, Pitch Black is a small set, and it would have been really interesting to see what the set would be like if it was combined with like Chaos Rising or Perfect Order into a larger set with a few more chase cards together in a set, and meaning that then the SIRs were more difficult to hit, and meaning that the illustration rares are more difficult to hit. Could see the prices then be a bit higher, and we get nothing in that one. I'm not a fan of these big energies, to be honest. Yeah, if Pitch Black was combined with like Perfect Order or Chaos Rising, you'd see a lot more demand for the sealed products, you'd see a lot more demand for the cards themselves, because obviously they'd be more difficult to get hold of. The sealed, I think the booster boxes for Pitch Black at the moment are only going for 166 on the secondary market, which is great if you're a collector, great if you're wanting to rip some packs. Obviously for other people on the, oh yes, yes, get in. We got the Manectric. That is, I am absolutely made up with that. I love Manectric. It's a staple in my playthroughs in Gen 3 on Pokemon Sapphire, so I'd love to pull that. I have used this Pokemon so much in my old Gen 3 playthroughs. Like, it was just a staple electric Pokemon that you always picked up near the start. You'd get your Electrike, you'd train him up, you'd end up with Manectric. He was a really useful Pokemon as well in those playthroughs, and now we've pulled him. I'm absolutely made up with that. Do I have a sleeve to hand? I should have somewhere. Sleeve him up, keep him safe. There we go. Okay, so second hit, an EX and the Manectric. I do think the Pokemon Company doing the small 3 sets though in a row I think it's been a good thing because I don't know whether they've done it on purpose to tactically slow down the market or whether they've just done it as a cash grab or a way to print less to get ready for the 30th maybe, but it has helped slow the market down, and it was badly needed. It was badly needed. And although I wouldn't say there's been a drop in the market, but there's just been like a natural slowdown. So prices aren't carrying on to go really high. They're not just constantly increasing, because we got to a point where it was just like absolutely ridiculous to see them increasing at the percentages that they were, just constantly week in, week out, week in, week out. Completely unsustainable. I think these 3 sets have helped nullify it a little bit. They've helped slow it down. But then at the same time, it drops the interest slightly, because at the end of the day, as much as the collectors and the old OG fans don't like to admit it, the hype in the market comes from the value in the sets. Hype in the market comes, unfortunately, from money. And we don't like it. We don't like that's how it works, but unfortunately, that's life. And when there's money to be made in the sets, because the sets are expensive and because the cards in them are expensive as well, it generates the hype, generates the demand. And over these last 3 sets, it's just not been there. We've had a cool few chase cards, but ultimately easy to pull. Illustration rares, haven't had any really big ones of them either. It's meant that then there's not a lot to pull from the packs in those last 3 sets, meaning that then the sets are then not expensive. You look at Phantasmal, huge Charizard, and the gold Charizard, it then makes the set expensive because people want to pull to chase that high value card. But all it is really is a lull, isn't it? It's a lull before the madness of the 30th. We all know it is. I think it's been done on purpose. I genuinely do. I think the Pokemon Company have done it on purpose to slow the market down, in the sense of they don't have to print as much of these smaller sets because they're not going to be as in demand. So they know they don't need to print them. And then they can print more and more and more of the 30th, which they know they need to do to try and satisfy that ridiculous demand. And it's the second Lurantis EX. So we've got a duplicate EX, but it's not what we want to see. But, you know, hey ho, it's another hit. I need the Lurantis in my massive Pokedex binder. Ultimately, in that Pokedex binder, I don't want to fill it with EXs. They're just, if I pull an EX now and put it in, it's a placeholder. I want to fill it with illustration rares, special illustration rares. But with over 1,000 cards, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. And that is why I am doing the Pokemon business, to try and make some money to pay for my own collection hobby. That's literally all I'm doing it. It's not to line my own pockets. It's not to try and become rich or famous, which probably will not happen. But it's trying to make some little bit of money on the side to double whammer Bastiodon there. A little bit of money on the side just to pay for my own hobby. Because imagine the average card price in my Pokedex binder, if I'm going for illustration rares and special illustration rares, is £10. £10 a card, say. You know, a mix of illustration rares, special illustration rares. That means that a whole binder will cost over £10,000 to fill. And some of it is coming from ripping packs, which then is even more expensive, like I'm doing now. It's going to be ridiculous to fill it. So I'm going to need some cheap cards. I might need some Japanese, some Korean, and then I might just have to, and then any profits from the eBay business can be used then to fill up some more expensive cards, interesting cards. Get in, come on, yes. I've hit the Manectric and then I've hit the Goldeen. This has actually been a nice little opening, because at the end of the day, trying to hit an SAR is quite difficult out of just 21 packs. But to get the Goldeen along with the Manectric, I mean, the central of that Goldeen's terrible, but it doesn't matter because I'd never grade it anyway. It's going in my Pokedex binder. Really happy with those two. That is a fantastic start. Right, so we've ripped through 10 of those packs now. Let's get through the last 11 and see if we can add to these couple of illustration rares that we've got so far. Now, I've not really talked about the cards in this set yet, but I always feel like they get skipped over, don't they? There's the Mankey, Type Null, Marshadow, Seaking to go with my Goldeen. The Banette, that's a really cool artwork on that one there. I like that. Thievel. Oh, my eyes didn't realise what I had then. I've got another illustration rare Thievel. As I pulled the card across, I thought it was just another regular reverse holo. My eyes didn't see it or focus for some reason. And we've got another illustration rare to go with the Goldeen and the Manectric. This is, out of this many packs, this is fantastic luck, to be honest. I'm absolutely made up with this. Now, there'll be people out there saying, well, you can probably buy them for a combined £15 once the set comes out for a couple of weeks. And obviously an ETB and 2 bundles costs me £100. But it's not about that, is it? Sometimes when a new set comes out, you just need to rip the packs. You just need to get in there, because at the end of the day, there's a chance when you're ripping the packs that you can hit a big boy. There's the chance that you can hit the Mega Darkrai. You know, £100 to have a chance at hitting the Darkrai and then get some hits as well, as opposed to just paying like the £300 or £400 off the bat for it. I'm never going to pay that kind of money for a new hit when it comes out anyway. So you just have a little go. It's always fun. We can make a video. We can talk Pokemon while we're doing it. Bronzong, Drillbur, the Toucannon and the Spiritomb. There's been a recent Spiritomb illustration rare, hasn't there? Was it from Mega Evo? I really like that one. It's quite cheap as well. I feel like I need to get on eBay and buy, like, in my Pokedex binder, it's a 16-page binder, 16 card page per page binder. I feel like I need to do what's the cheapest 16 illustration rares that you can find and fill a whole page with them, because there is, like, that Spiritomb I just mentioned, like probably about £3 online, £2 or something. You can find some really good cheap cards. It's a Slowbro again, Dark Bell, and nothing in that one. Yeah, you can find some really, really good cheap illustration rares because there's just so many of them around. And anything for me from like Gen 1, 2, 3, for me is just like, I need it. I love them because they're the games that I played religiously when I was a kid. So yeah, I think we definitely need to do a video showcasing all the cheap cards that you can get that are out there that look amazing in a binder, because when you get them all together and all those artworks are together, they do look amazing. Okay, Craniados, famous from the first gym in Gen 4. Welmer, Knitted Welmer from Gen 3 there. Misty's Vitality, Thievel, and then another Shadow Energy. I hate them energy cards. I'd just rather have a regular holo. But yeah, I do miss the days back when I ripped a few packs back in 1999 when I was a kid, and the holo meant everything. If you pulled a holo, it was just amazing. You didn't have illustration rares, you didn't have special illustration rares, you didn't have full art. It was, you had a holo or a non-holo. This is Spiritomb again. And if you got a holo, I think they were like around 1 in 3 packs. Now, not all the holos were as good as each other. Obviously, the Charizard, for example, was the best one, Blastoise, Venusaur, back in the day. But if you pulled any holo, it was just like an incredible feeling. You were so excited. You flick through a pack now, and it's like, everything's holo. You get to here, holo, there's more Peko EX, so another hit there. 6 hits so far. And I do really miss those simple times when all you needed, and to be honest, even if you didn't get a holo, you were still excited to get your star rare, as we called it back in the day, because they had the rarity of a star on it. And if you got a decent star rare that wasn't a holo, you were still happy. But to get like a holo one was just, oh, it was unbelievable. Like I think when Jungle first came out, I pulled the holo Vileplume, and no one in my school had seen it yet, and I took it in and everyone was just like, oh my god, oh my god. And when you look at the art of that, it's a crappy 3D rendered Vileplume on a plain green background, but it's holo. Everyone was buzzing over it, like the excitement just to get that because no one else had it. You know, take me back to those days, man. It was just so pure, so just, it was just amazing, you know, and you'll never repeat that now. It's just different. It's just different, but things move on, and the hobby is still amazing as it is, but you'll just never repeat that pureness when it first came out and that nostalgia of opening packs when you're a little kid. Right, last pack of these ETBs and bundles. Misty's Vitality, the Palafin, and oh, another Manectric, as if, another one. I'm really happy that I've got another card that I wanted, but it's a shame that it's a duplicate. It would have been nice to not get 2 of the same card. But along with the Thievel and the Goldeen, honestly, from 21 packs, when an illustration rare is supposed to be 1 in 9 packs, I've got from 21 packs, I've got 4, along with how many EXs? Only 3 EXs. I've got more illustration rares than EXs out of my 21 packs. I don't think I've ever had that kind of ratio happen before. This is amazing. Bit of a shame that I got 2 Manectrics, but you know what? I'll take it. The best one can go in my Pokedex binder, and then I'll probably trade or sell the other one at a card show or on eBay or something. But yeah, absolutely made up with that. 21 packs, decent hits. And all I can say then from Pitch Black is that hit rates, illustration rares, are good, but is a 21 pack sample size enough? Probably not really. I'm sure the 1 in 9 for an illustration rare probably does over time hold true. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this pack opening with me. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about the Pokemon market, the sets, and a bit of nostalgia with the Gen 1 stuff back in the day, 1999. But yeah, let's get these into the Pokedex binder. And if you enjoy this kind of content, Pokemon TCG, just general content, market content, collecting content, then please follow along. I'm Cal, this is Cal's Pokemon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.